What's good? Today we'll be talking about understanding the differences between your wins and losses. Let's go. In this life, you're going to have wins and losses, but understand that we all go through wins and losses. Today you may win, you may understand the battle that you're going through, but tomorrow you may lose the battle. How we constantly rise above our situation is how we work and how we grow and how we go. Daily, we will go through wins and losses. Today you'll be in a mind space where you're positive and you feel like you can tackle the day and you could tackle your situation. And then tomorrow you may be in a negative mind state. Understand that we all develop these traits. We all go through these things. The task that you must do in your own life is for you to understand and grow and understand that your mind state isn't always going to be positive due to your situation. But if you could pick something out of your situation and pick something out of your life that brings you positivity, bring it in the forefront of your mind. Many are struggling with their situation to make ends meet. And they're just hanging on to something that they feel as though could just help them. They want a blessing. They want a prayer. Understand that everyone goes through their own situation. Everyone goes through their own problem. There's people from other countries that wish they had a life like you and wish they had a situation that you're in. Understand that your situation isn't as bad as someone else's situation. Sometimes people want a family and they aren't able to have a family, but someone else is able to have a family and they had a family, but they feel as though they don't cherish their children and what their children bring. They don't cherish their children and understand that children are important. There's other people who want a family but can't have a family. Never mind your situation that you're going through, but other people can't have a family and they desperately want a family but can't have one. But you have a family. You have your own kids. You have your own children. That's a win for you, and that may be a loss for someone else. Yes, these things happen. Something that you don't cherish and you don't care for, someone else may want it. It's crazy. So every time we go through something, understand that there's wins and losses in your life. You're always going to have wins and losses. Anything you do, you're going to have wins and losses. You may be at an amazing job, and then you leave that job, and you want to go get a next job, and you may not get that next job that you want. What are you going to do? Life still goes on. Life still moves forward. That gig that you want, that gig that you solely want for your life to change. You may not get that gig, but you may get another gig that helps you to progress forward. That's a win. It may not be the win that you wanted, but it helps you. It helps you to keep floating. It helps you to keep moving. You may pass a test in school, and then the next test you have, you may fail that test. There's people who are in school that always fail and they just want to pass and they just want to move forward in life, but they can't. But you know what I realize? We won't talk about these things until it happens to us. Everyone is a victim of that. And just know that everyone goes through something. There's people out here that go through depression and anxiety and just want it to go away and want to be relieved of it. But you may not go through these things because you have your situation in order. So it's hard for you to understand their situation. But understand, every win and loss that we go through, it helps us to develop skills and attributes that can help. If you're always winning all the time and then you lose, you're not going to understand the feeling of losing. Especially in the real world. If you go to school and you're the smartest in school, you pass every test, you pass every class with flying colors, and other people are failing, you're not going to understand their situation until you reach in the real world and you have all your accolades, you have all your accomplishments, but you can't get a job. then you start to understand other people's pain. You understand other people's plight. You understand why these things are happening. But until that, you will not understand. If every relationship you've been in, every friendship you've been in was a successful one, but someone else doesn't have success in that, you're not going to understand their problems in a relationship until you go through that. These are the things that make up living. You know, you may hear about police harassment and other laws, harassing people and workplace harassment and these things. You will not understand that until you go through it. Then you can be relatable and tell your story. You know, it hurts that everyone has to go through these things for you to understand it. And once everyone goes through these things, then they can say, oh, they've been through this situation and that situation. But is that a win or a loss? Even when you lose, you gain experience from losing. You're playing for a team, you're playing a sport, and you lose. You can gain experience. When athletes lose, what do? They rewatch the tape, they understand the players, how they play, the plays that they make. So when they verse that team again, they could beat that team. Understand the defense, understand your offense, and understand how you can make moves to win the next game. Losses aren't always the end. It isn't always the end. We like to feel like it's the end, but it isn't the end. Nothing is the end. Yeah, we win. It feels good to win all the time. But you could learn more from losing than you can from winning. Sometimes when people win so much, they're content with winning. They're just content with their situation. But when you lose, you redevelop yourself. You redevelop your skills and how you can work. How you can make it work the next time. You may be in a relationship and that relationship may not work with that person that you're in a relationship with. Yes, it's a loss, but you move on from it. Understand that the next relationship you get into, it could work far much better. Understand why that relationship didn't work, what you can work on, communication, different things that you can work on in that relationship. And then when you get in a next relationship, apply those things. You know, oftentimes people get in relationships and then when they get in relationships and they break up, they want to get in another relationship with somebody else. Take time to understand yourself before you want to jump into another relationship. Because you're just going to get the same result. Take time to understand yourself, understand how you can redevelop your skills, understand how you can learn from another person that you're with, and work within that relationship. Communicate with that person. Don't jump back and forth from relationship to relationship to relationship. You're not going to learn anything. All you're going to learn is you should have learned yourself and you should understand yourself more. And these things aren't bad. Learning yourself and understanding yourself isn't bad. But in society, people make these things look so bad. If you're in a relationship and you break up with your partner breaks up with you, people are going to laugh and make it seem like you did something wrong or that person did something wrong, but they're in that same issue too. So oftentimes we laugh at these things without knowing the extent of these things. Oftentimes we don't know what two people are going through in a relationship, and we think everything should just be perfect. Nothing is ever perfect. But these are just little examples where I think as humans, we can grow and learn because we don't take the time to learn ourselves before getting into things. Understand yourself, understand your triggers, understand your boundaries, understand what makes you, you. Don't force yourself. Don't force yourself into social settings. Don't force yourself into things, people, places. You know, people go to meet other people who are celebrities and entertainers with the goal of wanting to be successful just as them. And then when they meet that celebrity and they don't get the result, they get upset, they get sad, they get depressed. Understand that these people aren't in place to make you successful. Only you can make yourself successful. You can learn their skills and their character traits that you can develop in your own life to make you successful. But the world is much bigger than paying attention to them and paying attention to what they can do for you, especially since they're their own people with their own lives and their own things that they need to get done and accomplish. Only you know your wins and losses, and how you work from those wins and losses can provide success for you in the future. So I want to thank you guys today for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and know that anytime you win or you lose, it's not the end of the world. But our experiences is what shapes the world and what shapes us to keep going forward. I'm out.